Meeting to order. We have any minutes to,
The minutes will be sent for your review prior to the next meeting.
okay, all right. I've got, can you put the agenda up on the screen, Charity Grace?
I can share it. I can share it here.
Okay, yeah, why don't you, yeah, if you could then.
Next thing would be for the committee to accept the agenda, if you want to make an announcement. There we
Did you call? Yeah.
Okay, so we got a motion for that?
go.
Yeah.
Motion to accept the agenda.
Yep.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, announcements. Third Thursday of the month, right? So we already did that. I mean, we're meeting today, so that is the schedule from now on.
Do we need to make a motion to accept it, or?
No, I think it's, well, I guess, might as well. Do we have a motion on that?
Motion to accept the third Thursday at 2 p.m. for
Right.
meetings.
Yep. Okay. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, let's see, old business. Let's go to new business. 54 Orange Street. We've got a letter from Kay Frank, I guess.
Let's see.
That up on the, that's the tree we looked at, Ben. Did you see that?
Yeah. Let me. Is it in here somewhere? Here we
Yeah,
go.
it's there, right there it is.
Okay.
Now, this particular tree was planted as part of a tree planting program for the town. And it was back, Maz, you took care of the place at that time. Were you working for Mike then? This goes back to the,
Yes. Yeah. Wow. That's a blast from the past.
yep. So Rob, what was his name? Rob
Vincent.
Rob Vincent, right? Did the he got the contract to plant trees all around town, and that was one of them. I can't believe how big the tree is had actually gotten, but it's definitely a town tree. Dale didn't realize it was, but I don't think Dale was working on the tree crew at that time, so he might not have known that.
Just
I
down
know,
by the old, wasn't there a DPW garage on Orange in this vicinity?
Across the way, though, across the way. This is on, where is it, on Mulberry Street?
That
Corner of
sounds right.
Mulberry and Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in terms of the takedown, it's a fairly easy one, really. I mean, it's you close off the street, obviously, but they're very interested in getting a tree to replace it. And certainly that would be,
I'm sorry, Dave, what's the status of it? Is it dead?
it's dead. It's mostly dead.
Yep.
Dale feels his root girdling. And I couldn't determine when we were there what
There's nothing noticeable above ground.
Right.
I didn't really dig down and around it.
I couldn't see any girdling, but but it's dead. So something's got to be done to remedy the situation.
Okay.
And I think we've got enough money in there. To give you some background, Kay Frank was quite active in the Save the Elms Committee way back when. She hosted fundraisers and did, was quite active. So certainly want to sort of, take care of the situation for the Franks.
Well, there appears to be quite a little bit of a corner that's plantable there, where the tree is currently occupying.
Well, it's actually
Maybe-
behind the fence. It's in a yard. It's
Yeah.
in,
And so I'm not sure if that's private property, one of those.
well, it
trees
is.
that-
I think that there was probably a signed easement. I know we did a lot of planting on private property, similar to what we did on Hooper Farm Road. And got, I know Paul Droz did a lot of scouting around and getting people's signature on tree easements back when that planting was done. So this was similar.
Now, I'm curious about these easements on private property. Do they allow for the town to plant and maintain a tree in that location in perpetuity? Like if this, or is it just for the life of that one, that one tree?
I would say they've granted permission for the town to have a tree there. Then you get, well, let's just say, sure, if it, I would say in perpetuity, if the tree does die, I mean, that
Yeah, I would want to,
you would expect a tree to last a lot longer than that one has, is what I'm getting at.
so we could take it down, but I think part of this would be to communicate with the homeowner who reached out to us in the first place,
Yep.
find out about going back with something else. Maybe we could better determine any girdling concerns when we grind the stump out.
Sure.
And then based on feedback and input on from you folks about particularly the replanting and how to treat the ball and such with the appropriate soil borrow. And even, it's pretty close to the road. There's a couple bollards right there. So I think we'd still have to do some level of understanding for the future of, how the new tree would start to grow up.
Yep. I agree. She's cited here what Ben and I recommended that day, a sweet gum to replace
Sweet gum?
a sweet gum. Yep. And that's fairly upright. I think it would be a very good tree for that spot. And the soil's good in the yard. I mean, it's seems to be a very fertile place. So
for a sweet gum, Dave, just so, what is the expected height and canopy for something like that? If it's
well, there's a sweet gum we planted back in probably 81 on Main Street, right in front of the pharmacy.
Okay.
To give you an idea of how tall they get.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't make a nice presence on Mulberry Street, I think.
Yep.
And it's got nice fall color. It's got kind of like a star-shaped leaf. They're nice trees.
Gotcha.
They do well here.
Is there, hey Ben, is there any documentation on how the tree was planted originally? If it came in a container or a B&B package or bare root?
It was B&B. Yeah. They were all, I believe they were 2.5 to 3 inch, maybe 3 to 3.5 inch trees when they were planted. They're good sized trees.
Okay. Because usually when you have the gurgling roots, that's usually seen in container stock.
Right.
That
right.
shortens the life of the tree.
True.
I just wasn't sure.
True enough. Yep.
Is that because it starts out life that way and it has a pattern of the root system already?
Yeah, when you take the tree out of the container, if you don't address the roots that are gurgling at that moment, the roots never start to grow out. They just keep growing in a circular pattern. And it usually, the life expectancy is much, much shorter on a containerized tree than a B&B or bare root tree. I was just Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. What's B and B stand for?
Bald and burlapped.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dale has looked at, I think I'm practically certain he's looked at this tree, so.
She actually mentioned that he can actually.
Yeah.
That he even met with, is it Kay was her name?
Yeah, K Frank, yep.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm curious, just I know it's another old business item here, but as far as how it gets set up with the nurseries that are here, I've seen both shipments of, as you described, the B&B trees coming in on trucks to supply the nurseries. If those aren't already sold and ready to go in when they arrive, are the nurseries then planting them on property until such time as they have to harvest them to go off again? How does that typically work?
They heal them in mulch, into tree, chips, I mean.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you go to the nursery and you purchase a tree that's been in the chips for say a year to 2 years, when they go to pull that wire basket out, usually you'll see root fibers growing out of the burlap. The burlap has small air pockets which allow roots to grow out of, where the container doesn't have that air pocket, which is why when you pull a tree out of a container that's been in that particular container for too long, you'll see the roots starting to circulate around the outside of the container. And that's, like I said, I was just curious if that was part of the issue with this particular tree.
Yeah, who knows? But it definitely wasn't contained. I know they were all B&B. It was all B&B stock.
Well, this one's certainly been there a while.
Yeah.
It's probably close to a foot in diameter.
Yeah, it's amazing how big it actually has gotten since the 90s.
Yep.
Here's the rest of the letter there.
Yep.
All right. So what's the committee thinking on this?
I think we proceed with the removal and the replacement.
Okay.
Yep.
Make a motion to
Yep.
have the tree removed.
Yep,
Yep.
second.
And all in favor of that?
Aye.
And let's have a motion on replacing it with a sweet gum of not similar size, but maybe a 2 to 2.5 or 2.5 to 3 inch replacement.
Motion to replace with a sweet gum 2.5 to 3.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. All right, let's see what's next here.
I think we skipped over public comment, but I don't think there's any happening today.
No.
Maybe that's why we skipped over it.
Yep. Let's see. 38 Westchester. Have we gotten anywhere with that, Rob?
38 Westchester was, or is, I think it's a rather large elm that's got a tremendous amount of rot.
No, that's 20. That's 22.
20, yeah, 20 or
Okay,
22.
sorry.
This is
38. No, 38. I know that's the town property. We have not. I have that email. I got to go through it. I have not revisited that.
Okay.
Sorry, I did get around to 21 Westchester, 20 Westchester, and another location Dale took me to go check out. Pulling it up as we're talking here. the corner of India and Center. It's actually the one next to the Roberts collection there.
Okay,
There's a on India. There's a big chunk of that tree that needs to come out. It's a bunch of dead wood basically up the middle on the roadside.
okay. Yes, there is. Oh, right in front of, it's actually kind of in front of Proprietors.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's got a lot of dead wood up in it.
A
That
lot of
needs,
dead wood.
that
and
needs, that
big
needs
stuff.
serious help.
Big stuff. So we're going to work on that. That unfortunately, that 20 Westchester one, you know, it's funny, when I arrived on site, I walked on the house side and it looks perfectly fine.
Yep.
And then you come around the front and boy, it looks like, sadly, it looks like it's a truck strike that just continued to never heal.
It probably
and
was.
just continue to foster, rot from above, and then around the roots as well. It just it's made a mess.
So Dale is planning on taking that down. Is that on his work agenda for this winter? Okay.
Yep. So we're going to be working
It's
on
dangerous.
those two as a priority, and then the third one we talked about was the one there in the corner of Broad and South Water at the town building.
Yep.
That we approved a while back that we
Right.
just haven't got back to yet. So.
Yeah.
So has everybody looked at that? Do we need a motion on to remove that tree, or are we gonna just, it's a public safety issue as far as I can see.
Yep.
So it's a liability, not an asset anymore. So do we need a motion on that
For which one?
for the one at 20 Westchester?
I would say, I mean, it's probably worth it just to have the committee memorialize it. Typically for something like that, it's when it's really a maintenance or,
Yep.
a threat type of thing.
Yep.
We don't want to wait for a meeting necessarily, but
Okay. All right.
just to be able to take the weight off it as soon as possible.
Yep.
And then we'll finish it up as soon as we can behind it.
Yep. All right. So we have a motion on that.
Yeah,
Motion
move.
to take action on 20 Westchester
Yep. For public safety reasons.
for public safety reasons.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Now let's see, 10 York Street. Have we gotten anywhere finding out who did the illegal pruning on that catalpa? And other things there?
I haven't heard boo on that.
Dale was gonna put his ear to the ground there and see what he could find out, but. All right, so now we get to number 4, which is our homework assignment here. Appleton Road. Has
Yes.
everybody had a look?
Yes.
It's a perfect place to plant a huge row of trees there. I mean, that would change the,
We were gonna get a sort of a list of species out, right? To
yeah,
the,
well, John, you came up with silver lindens. What was?
Yes. Tilia tomatosa was one, Acer rubrum was another, and Gymnocladus I thought was a nice third option.
Sure.
And I was going to ask this week, just kind of looking at the schedule, maybe we send the letter out after the holidays to the people that live there.
Mm-hmm.
And, that way they have a couple months to get the letter and think about it. And it'll probably be a spring planting job. If you wanted, I could start drafting up a letter, send it out to you guys, and you guys can
Sure.
proofread or
Yep.
add things that you'd like to add or take things out.
So I appreciate everyone's grasp of Latin, but for Charity Grace's and mine, if you could use common name, that would be fantastic. So we know what to keep in the notes.
John only knows them by their generic name. I can tell you what.
Yeah, I love it. I'm thinking, if there's any recommendation that could be generally applied, like, hey, we want to plant something like every 50 feet, every 100 feet, something along those lines, that might be an oversimplification, but if it's something different and more specific, it might be worth even going out as a committee and actually just placing some stakes
Yep.
for discussions with the neighbors to then get feedback back, either via Zoom or email or something like that.
Sure.
Even if I'll just throw this out there, because we gave a sketch or we gave a plan of the Appleton Road right of way.
Mhm.
If the committee is interested in putting, I don't know if you have it available, Ben, to throw up there, but if we could do something like that, like put a sketch together with just dots on a page, I'm happy to go out and put stakes in the ground with numbers on them, or write the common name species of what could be planted there, and then have the neighbors take a look at it and give us some feedback.
Right. That'd be great.
Yep.
I would be happy to pull it up, although I don't have it handy. I know the plan you're referring to that. You'd probably search it.
I'll see if I can find it quickly.
Probably the last meetings, it was on the last meeting's agenda, I believe, or the meeting before that. So it's gotta be somewhere.
Hey, John, can you actually repeat those 3 trees that you mentioned?
Oh, yeah. So common names would be Kentucky coffee tree, red maple, and silver linden.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I found the plan. I'll send it around to everybody right now. Mike, what's your email? First few letters.
Mike, Mike. Should come up as Mike at
jm-landscape.com.
Yes.
Got it. And John, what's yours?
John, JOHN, at ernstlanddesign.com.
EARNST.
Correct.
Okay. All right, coming your way right now, everyone.
All right, I'll pull it up.
John, you just got kicked back.
ERNSTLANDDESIGN.com.
.com.
Yeah, and then John does have an H. JOHN.
Yeah, I got JOHN at ernstlanddesign.com.
Yeah, ERNSTLANDDESIGN.
Oh, no A in Ernst?
No way.
Okay.
Sorry about
Yeah, that's, and Mike, I had Mike at jm-landscape.com.
Actually, sorry, it was landscapeservices.com.
Okay, no problem.
Tricky like that.
You guys see that on my screen?
Yep. It's actually I think it's an English oak. It might be a seedling English oak along there. It's like somewhere in the vicinity of Selrose Road. That's on the same side, but it's inboard of that planting area between the sidewalk and so there are a few trees along there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that probably the biggest hurdle to people that are, a lot of people park along the side. We probably talked about that last time, right?
Yep.
I think, you know, to protect the trees from getting run over and that I can just see that happening.
Yeah, we could do
Maybe
bollards.
protecting them with some additional boulders, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys must have a stockpile of boulders out there, Rob, yeah?
I wouldn't necessarily say stockpile. And the ones that we actually do have were actually imported as part of a Mass DOT project.
Oh, really?
They weren't even put in place because they looked so out of place.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're like big, like real granite boulders,
Okay,
broken rock that are like 3 or 4 feet in diameter. And
yeah,
they're just
not from around here.
no, they definitely stick out.
Yeah, now that Neil Patterson doesn't have that land off of Hummock Pond Road, I had to buy my last load of them in pallets. We've since collected a few, but they're not as abundant as they used to be.
No, I've actually, it's interesting. I really pay attention to some of these cellar hole projects that I see. And there's a recent dig on Pulpus that they ended up with quite a few pretty sizable boulders that came out of the ground.
Yeah, a lot of glacial
Gotcha.
growth, glacial erratics.
Yeah.
We just threw out a pile of them.
Oh, John,
Yeah,
That's like
where
rookie
are
mistake.
they? Where'd you take them?
they were out at Loretta Lane, and
Yeah.
we brought truck after truck after truck to Ernie Strang's yard. And
Yeah, of
dumped
course.
them.
Ernie's
Well-
gonna be making 10 times on that.
You wouldn't believe the boulders we pulled out of there.
Wow.
Interesting. I wonder if they're still.
I mean-
I'm gonna take a ride out to Strang's right now, right?
I
Just
mean,
offer him, Ben,
I
just
didn't know
offer
they
him
were-
double what he paid.
I didn't know that they were worth money, or I would have dumped
Yeah.
them in my yard.
Yeah, they're not, maybe not today, but you can sell some, you can sell those. I was thinking the foundation has that borrow pit by the bogs, Dad, you've seen those.
oh yeah, they're not selling them though. I tried to get them. I tried to get them interested in possibly selling them, but there's no interest there.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice going, John. How else are we going to protect these Gymnoplatus dioecinuses?
I do love the idea. I'm actually looking at a rock right now that would work, but we're gonna need more than one. I agree. I do agree with you though. I love the idea of putting some big boulders, 3-4 feet from the trunks of the trees to keep people from hitting them with their trucks.
Yeah. I mean, what are we thinking about? What are we thinking about spacing on these? 20 feet or something like that?
Seems a little close for the trees.
that-
but-
how many lots are along there? It might be better to plant one per lot.
One per lot. So these are 80-foot. They look like 80-foot stretches.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Or
one per,
at the corners of the lots, maybe.
yeah.
So that would be every 80 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that idea, Dave. You tend to not run into like driveway cuts and stuff like
Right.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, that's generally where the utility boxes go too. So
True.
we'll have to take a look at that. But for the grand majority of that street, I think doing something like this now will really go a long way in adding a lot of beauty to that street in the long run.
Yeah.
Needs a lot of help.
Right. Well, John, can you get that? You want to start a letter?
Yeah, I'll try and get a letter out to you guys in the next couple of weeks here.
Yep.
And then you guys can look it over and we can discuss it at the
Yep.
next meeting. And then hopefully, I think if the homeowners get a letter in January at some time, that should give them plenty of time to review the situation.
Yep. Yeah, I love that idea. In fact, I would say I think it would go a long way to have that kind of, have an invite maybe to the January meeting of the neighborhood to give us, their input. I think it's a great way to showcase, what the tree committee can do and is doing
Yeah.
around the island, particularly trying to solve problems, that are out there that people want to continue to beautify their neighborhood, but at the same time, deal with some of the parking issues that are ongoing, and this kind of pulls all that together.
Basically, most of the lots along there are all part of they were the approval not required lots in the Pine Valley subdivision.
Okay.
But they're part of all those lots along there, the homes, I think, are part of the Pine Valley Association. So, it's a well-kept neighborhood. So I think they'd be quite interested
Okay.
in trees.
So once we hear back and get some draft of this letter from John, I think we will put the finishing touches on that, get it out to the Pine Valley Association and an individual mailing to each abutter out there.
Yep.
And we'll try to get them involved with our January meeting.
Yep.
Right.
And this was basically going to be kind of a menu to pick off of, John? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Did you guys have any other suggestions? I guess my mindset with, coming up with the menu is somebody's not going to want complete shade. Someone's not going to want a massive tree, and somebody else is going to want more shade. And this kind of covers all of those areas, but I don't know if you guys had any other suggestions or inputs as far as varieties go.
I don't about varieties, but one thing I was going to reach out to Ben about that I think would help kind of keep us on track about developing details for plantings. This is I think between bike path and property line, or sidewalk and property line, as opposed to between the roadway and a path or a sidewalk. But either way, I think just understanding where they would go and how, like the cross-sectional detail of the planting including possibly locating boulders at the surface.
Mhm.
And even if it's just sketch, we could turn that into like an AutoCAD detail to give people an understanding of what to expect when we come out to tear up the neighborhood.
Right, sure. So if we're taking we're looking at just this lot number 5, for instance. Here, you guys, how do I say it? Let me share this again.
Mine came through, by the way, on the phone, Rob. Thank you.
All right, can you guys see this? So you see my
Yep.
screen here?
Yep.
So we're looking at this. So let's see, let me get this even further. All right, so we have edge of pavement is here. And then I think this is the median here. And maybe this is the bike path here.
Yep.
And then, so we either be planting in the median or we'd be planting, I think that's the property line. So it's either in this small area here or here. Am I correct?
I think the what we've been talking about up to now is planting in that median strip.
Here.
Yeah,
So between the road and the bike path.
right.
Yeah,
And that's the reason for the boulders.
right. I think that makes more sense rather than being on the other side of the bike
Yeah,
path.
no, then we'd have to get easements.
Right, okay. Yeah. So, Rob, if, let's see. If this plan is available, the AutoCAD is available on this, I can do a sketch pretty easily. I don't know who is this by. Dick Earl, this is going way back, so. Or maybe not, maybe it's not, March 26, 2003.
It's Richard Earl. He's still active. So he and Steve Sullivan, I think, have an office there below Arthur Reed's office on.
Well, what I can do is, why don't I do this, John, if you do the letter,
Yeah.
I'll get a sketch on this layover on this plan. I'll see if I can get the plan from Dick Earl, but Rob, I might just need your authorization to Dick's office to release the AutoCAD file.
Yeah, I would have no problem working with you on that.
Okay. I mean, they're usually happy to share. It's just property of the town, I think, so.
So when, I'm sorry, I was trying to find the GIS location when you guys were talking. You're talking about planting these in the median between the sidewalk and the road?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
just wanted to double check that. Because I know when you get closer to Bartlett, there's really no median.
So
Yeah.
would we be planting every one of these lots? Like, I mean, that's like, would be like roughly 35 trees or?
Well, I would say this, that's a great question, Mike. Here we are feeling good about the tree credit money that's sitting in some of these nurseries to be used. I would say it's probably best to go through this effort and make the offer and see where it lands, because we could do it in phases, but very likely what you'll find out, like Dave mentioned earlier, I think it was Dave that said, maybe either these areas don't specifically work or they're all set. They're not interested in having a planting in front of their property or even near the property corner. So maybe it's best to go through the effort and see about people, who comes to the table, how many, and then we can assess from there.
Yeah, because I think it would leave, it would leave the tree credits a little short I don't even think we'd have enough tree credits to do all of them, but like. you
Yeah,
said,
yeah, but we would certainly be able to supplement from the DPW budget.
Gotcha.
That would be the expectation.
Yep.
I think the biggest thing is finding out, who wants what, where to start from, because I would anticipate, even under the best conditions, these are going to have to be shifted around a little bit to accommodate or respect the existing subsurface utilities that are there.
Right.
So I think that's another part of this that the committee needs to be aware of is, we don't, maybe a good reason to do this, Ben, to get the CAD plan, whether they have an as-built or not, but at least if they had original intended proposed utility plans that went along with that subdivision,
Yeah,
it would tell us, give us more information that we don't have today.
okay.
It looks like most of those, well, I'm not sure, but all those are pole drops along there, I would imagine. I mean, all the electric and telephone and cable is on the left-hand side of the street.
Yep.
So, but I'm not sure how that was done when those lots were developed for the Pine Valley subdivision. Well,
It'll be a net improvement for the neighborhood.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you need to, does the town need universal buy-in on that, or you just say this is kind of what we were doing? I mean, you want the blessing, but somebody would rather park on the median. I don't think that's a good enough reason to.
No, I agree with you there. I think it's,
yeah, we're going to have a lot of holes if homeowner A doesn't want one, but homeowner B does, and on down the road. We're not going to have a continuity of a nice LA down that way.
I don't know how it's going to go. This is the kind of the first big effort like this that we've done. Other than, clear areas that are pretty wide open and don't necessarily need a lot of feedback, like that stretch of Surfside, for instance. We'll continue to plant along there,
Sure.
and, we'll get good feedback. Here, this is, well established. People are, I think we may get reactions all over the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would count on that.
Well, maybe we, sort of frame it like, here's what we're proposing, but maybe not so much, here's what we're asking.
Yeah, I think we ask them for what, if they have their choice of trees.
Yeah.
Right. Not a whether or not they want to do it.
Right. Good point.
Pick off the menu of trees that are going in here.
What?
Pick off the
right.
menu of trees
Pick
that
out
are
the
being
menu.
installed here.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What confuses you is the nature of our game.
All right, so John, you're on your way over now to get those rocks, right?
I'm going to get the big truck and getting my rocks back. Is right.
That's right.
I can't believe that. I'm still shocked.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be thinking about that.
I can tell you, John, we just bought just this last week, we bought, I don't know, 12 boulders from Neil's, not even that nice.
Yeah, they were small. That was $350.
Yeah.
For
See,
7
John, you
of
could
them.
have taken most of the winter off.
Yeah, John,
Yeah,
paid for your
yeah,
vacation.
well-
At least that would have paid for the Epic Pass.
No kidding. If you drive by that property, you can kind of see there's this massive boulder that was on site, and half of it's buried underground now, but it took Ernie's full loader and excavator to move the thing.
No kidding. Really.
And next to that were just, I kid you not, truckloads
Really?
of boulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that property, I've never seen a property that rocky out here.
Wow. Yeah.
Not even close.
You might be on Ernie's Christmas card list this year.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, I definitely know who my first phone call is going to be
Well,
once we hang up.
I caution you, you know, if you try to get them back from Ernie, he might strangle you.
Bad,
I couldn't pass that up.
bad.
Definitely a dad joke, right?
I didn't know you did those jokes in public.
It's recorded too. That's fantastic. All right, we have anything else?
I think we're good. I don't think there's anything in old business that we got to attend to. I think we kind of went over that the last meeting.
That was the last. That was the
Yeah.
last.
There's no homework before the
No,
next
you
meeting?
know, I got to say, I'm pretty impressed. Thank you all for doing the homework. I do appreciate that. It certainly makes for a more lively discussion.
Yep.
All right, Charity Grace, do you have all the names we needed there? And I know John's going to follow up with a draft letter. So that
Yeah.
also.
Yes. I think we're all set.
All right. I should also mention that this is Charity Grace's last meeting, as she is unfortunately leaving us at DPW. So I want to say thank you to you for your service here, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you.
Same to you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thanks
Good
for
luck,
all your help,
Charity.
Charity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all. You've all been a joy to work with, and I wish you all well. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Motion
Okay.
to adjourn.
Yep, so moved.
Okay.
All right.
See y'all.
Have a good one.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
You.